filmed the opening of the show, and obviously he's in his Avengers outfit. I was gonna say it's really British to the piss out of me, but he was like teasing me basically because I was like, it's you, because he was in his Loki outfit.
Everyone is so excited that we have the chance to interview you today. We are so happy. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Your room is amazing, by the way. Look at all that Loki merchandise. It's incredible.
A lot of Loki merchandise. A lot of Easter eggs in this room.
Very cool.
So we are Portal Loki Brasil. We are the first outlet for this character across all medias in Brazil. But there's really no denying that Tom Hiddleston was the one that really made this character famous and all of that. And we know that you are a fan yourself. So how was to be a part of Loki's story?
It was massive. I think I remember because obviously, as you guys seen in the show, like he's in his suit for most of it. And obviously when you're filming, you don't always film in order. So like, it was so weird. I remember that I had sort of like an out of body experience when we filmed the opening of the show, and obviously he's in his Avengers outfit. I was gonna say it's really British to the piss out of me, but he was like teasing me basically because I was like, it's you, because he was in his Loki outfit, and I think for me that was like a full circle, like, oh wow, I'm really getting to direct Loki. This is so weird because, you know, he's in his proper Asgard getup. And yeah, I think honestly though, like, you know, as a director, it's such an exciting and unique experience to work with an actor that's played a character for 10 years. And there's, you know, I think there was a real thing in that because I wanted Tom to know that he could trust me and that, you know, we had each other's backs, and he's a very generous actor as well. So it was really fun to work with him. But like so many people, you know, I saw him in Thor and was like, this performance is amazing. And then over the last 10 years, it was so exciting for me just seeing how Marvel shaped the character, you know, going from villain to anti-hero. But I felt because Tom's performance was so excellent, you know, he grounds Loki in such empathy and wit, but you also have all this pain and vulnerability. And he's a character that, you know, he's like an underdog, but you can't help but root for him, even when the decisions he's making are not always the greatest decisions. So, yeah.
And you were very good at keeping secrets throughout the show, and fans were, as always, very good at creating theories. For example, people were theorizing what was Sylvie's and Mobius' Nexus events. Did you see any theories online that you found really interesting, or did you follow up with?
There was one theory that really falls in line with how I feel about Sylvie's Nexus event, which I think is really beautiful, actually. And someone said, is it because she was happy? And heroic, which I think I maybe saw that today. I started jump on Reddit and stuff, but I think for me the key thing with Sylvie was that I think whatever it is, it has to be pure, right? Because she's a child, and maybe she just picked up the wrong toy, or maybe it is something bigger than that she knows she was happy and that she didn't have the path that Loki's supposed to have. But I think the key thing for me with Sylvie and her Nexus event was that, you know, like the TVA, like Loki steals the Tesseract is a very active thing that he shouldn't have done. Whereas when Sylvie is a kid, like it's something that any of us could do. You know, we like, I don't know, drink from the wrong cup or something. It's like a very innocent thing that happened. And I think that was really important, not only for her character, but also for episode 4, because in that episode, we're starting to kind of, I guess, twist audience. Maybe they aren't that heroic. Maybe there is something a bit more sinister going on here. So yeah, and with the Mobius, I don't think I've actually seen any Mobius Nexus event theories online. I'd love to know what they are. I assume they're jet ski related, but I would love to see them.
And any Easter egg that you really like it, but fans haven't found it yet?
One, basically, so in Renslayer's office, so behind Woomy on the wall, there's a certificate, which is a reference, a comic book reference. So I'll just leave that in the air for people.
Okay. And since we're talking about Easter eggs, episode 5 was filled with them. That was so much fun to watch. That's definitely a fan favorite. But for us as Loki fans, it was just a blast to see all of those Loki variants. How exciting was it to bring all of those new reincarnations of Loki to life?
It was so much fun because, you know, like me and the writers in the studio, like I think there was some like, I think Kid Loki was obviously a Loki that we wanted to bring in there. Alligator Loki came from Michael in the writer's room, and I just thought it was so funny. And I love the debate of, is he a Loki? Is he not a Loki? I think he is a Loki. And then Boastful was one that we kind of created, and also with like around, because Diobia read for the role, and like it gave us even more fun ideas. And I love the idea of a worthy Loki. That kind of made me laugh a lot. So yeah, I thought that was really fun. And then Richard obviously is classic Loki. I think for me, the really fun thing with his character was basically, I liked the idea that, you know, Marvel have a very in-house style with their costumes, which all of us love and recognize. But I thought it'd be really cool because this is like the original Loki. I was like, oh, let's make him look like, you know, original Loki from the comics. And like, maybe if like a movie was made about Loki like 40 years ago, this is what he would have looked like. So yeah, I think that was really fun. And then President, actually, he came in a bit later. So we always had in the script a moment where like these bandit Lokis were going to come in and, you know, they were going to unravel Boastful's plan to take over. And I think the leader was just, I think he was just like a bandit leader. And basically I knew I wanted to cast Tom in one of the bandit roles because we hadn't seen a Loki that looked like Tom yet. And I was like, well, in episode 2, we have all those holograms, but it'd be really fun to see one in the flesh, obviously. So I think at one point we were thinking, oh, let's make him like, you know, just one of the bandit group. But then I think when we were thinking about the leader, I was like, oh, it'd be really fun if it was President because, you know, it feels like he should be leading this group. And also then when we knew it was that role, I think when we were discussing it, I remember being like, oh, maybe let's see if Tom's up for it. So like me in the studio asked Tom and he was up for it. And I think he had a very surreal day because he was filming obviously as our Loki, then President. And then I think he had to do like a Q&A of all the Lokis after. And I think he said it was a very like, who am I kind of day.
I feel like I'm having an identity crisis.
But yeah, but it was so much fun, I think, seeing him as President and just seeing like obviously a very different Loki to the one that we know. So yeah, it was cool to see him let loose in that.
And in the topic of variants, which famous person or pop culture figure you think that could have been a Loki variant? And there is anyone that could have been a variant of yourself?
Oh, okay. Who could be a Loki variant? Do you know what? It's sort of a cheat question, but I do like to think that DB Cooper could have been. I know it's in our show, but just because it's so mischievous what he did. So I always thought that was really fun. And then a variant of me, do you know what? I'm really similar to Casey. Probably Casey is one of my variants. Or to be honest, I'm a variant of Casey. We're just both very like anxious and nervous and nerdy. So I just was like, yeah, I'm probably a Casey. I'm probably one of his variants. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah.
And still about the variants, Alligator Loki was such a success, especially here in Brazil. Did you foresee how popular this Loki would become?
I think all of us thought that Alligator was definitely something special. I mean, it was just so funny. And I think for me as a director, you know, when you're filming it on set, you have kind of, it's almost like a stuffed toy that you have as the alligator. And so even just the actors like giving it their all to this toy, I was always like grateful to them. It's a very funny cut of the episode. But then obviously when we started to bring Alligator to life, I think the fun thing we found was the more, like sometimes we'd push it and it would be like, oh no, this doesn't feel like an alligator anymore. It feels a bit too like, I think whenever there was room for the debate of is it an alligator, is it not an alligator, that was the sweet spot. So, and like, did they just put horns on an alligator? And like, I think, so that was the real fun thing in bringing it to life. But no, I think me and the team, obviously in the visual effects team, we all loved Alligator Loki, but you just don't know till it goes out there. But I mean, yeah, we all love the character and we hope people would love him as much as we do. But yeah, I mean, people love the alligator, so it's great.
Here in Brazil specifically, we had some fake news going around that once you get vaccinated, you turn into an alligator. So here in Brazil, we call alligator Loki vaccinated Loki. And we wanted to ask if you could say vaccinated Loki in Portuguese, which is Loki Vacinado.
Loki, how'd you say it? Loki. One more time, sorry. Vacinatu or nat?
Nado.
Nat?
Yeah.
Nado.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So like Loki Vacinat. Oh damn it! I did it wrong.
Loki Vacinado.
Loki Vacinado.
Yay!
Sorry.
So going back to the TVA now, we learned throughout the series that they are all variants and not really creations of the timekeepers. And one of the main things that we were wondering was how does the TVA decide which variant gets pruned and which variant actually gets to work for the TVA? Was that something that was discussed?
Yeah, I think we hadn't really like spoke about that exactly because I guess it's still on the table, right? Like how he chose the people that he pulled from the timelines. I think the main thing for us really was that because when I first started the job, I remember that I think Casey was an alien at one point, and we were like, oh, should there be aliens in the TVA? But then I kind of felt like, well, actually, if there's aliens from across the MCU in this, I think it starts to feel like, I think I would, as an audience member, I would be asking more questions about, wait, who are the TVA? And I think by making them more human, for me anyway, I think it kind of almost hid the conspiracy a bit. Like, you just questioned it a bit less, like where their origin was from. So I think that's kind of the most we spoke about it in that sense. But yeah, in terms of like why He Remains pulled them from the timelines, I could not say, but I mean, hopefully that will be yet to be answered.
As a director, you must be excited for people to watch the entirety of your work, but was there any specific scenes that you were more excited for people to see than others?
Yeah, so I think for me, like, honestly, favorite scenes. It's tricky with Loki, right? Because I would say you have to watch it in order, because otherwise it could ruin stuff that comes later. I mean, scenes that I just really love in the show, like top of my head, like I love the scene with B-15 and Renslayer when B-15 is in the cell and they kind of have that face off. I think that's really cool. I just really love that moment. I also love Loki and Sylvie outside the barbershop. You know, when they're both being quite awkward and talking about their feelings for one another. And I think, you know, they're both gods, but that felt very human to me, like the awkwardness in that. I love episode 1 with Loki and Mobius. So, I mean, I also love in episode 2, the conversation with Loki and Mobius that, you know, when they talk about their backgrounds, and it almost to me feels like two friends talking about their religious backgrounds, you know, like, and I think it's done like in a respectful way, but they're like, what do you believe is crazy? And it's like, yeah, but what you believe is crazy. And like, and I think that felt again like something very relatable, I'm sure, to a lot of people. And I thought that was really nice.
So to wrap things up, we just wanted to do a quick Would You Rather game, if you're up for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
Let's go. Would you rather ride a jet ski with Mobius or go fishing with Casey?
Oh, jet ski.
Would you rather eat a plate of Ragnarok salad or kablooey gum?
I think probably kablooey gum. It just looks kind of wild. I would definitely go for that. Yeah.
Would you rather have alligator Loki
Or Throg as a pet?
Alligator Loki.
Yeah, me too. Would you rather win with President Loki or reign Asgard with boastful Loki?
Oh, I'm gonna say boastful.
Would you rather get very full with Loki or enchant Eliad with Sylvie?
Oh, enchant Elias. I think it'd be epic. So yeah, I go for that one.
Would you rather edit files of your future with Miss Minutes or change something for your past with He Who Remains?
Miss Minutes, team Miss Minutes.
Yeah, I could. Would you rather watch Kid Loki Q4 or watch classic Loki fool Thanos as he attacks the ship in Infinity War?
Oh, classic. It sounds brutal what happened with Kid Loki. I don't think I could see it.
If you were in Loki and Sylvie's place, would you kill Kang and free the timeline? Or take his place and control the TVA for the greater good?
Oh. Do you know what? Like, the fan in me is like, free the multiverse, right? You have to.
Yeah, I want to see the multiverse, so yes, please, free the multiverse.
Yeah, I probably would free the multiverse, but I don't know. I'd probably be more leaning towards what Loki did, but as a fan, I would want to free the multiverse.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll say multiverse and make a decision. Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, Kate, we just want to say thank you so much. Brazil really appreciates your work with the series, and because of it, we're getting a season 2. So thank you so much. And yeah, that was it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Cheers. It was so nice to meet you both. And sorry for the wacky internet, but cool. Thank you. Have a lovely day. Bye. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.